everyone. Today we will study about Anderson's bridge. This bridge also we are using for measurement of unknown inductance. But this bridge is somehow different from all other bridges because it has 5 nodes. So it is somehow difficult as compared to other bridges. So now let's start the discussion. So this is the unknown branch, or this L1 we need to find out. This is R1. Here the branch 2 is R2, branch 3 R3. Here we are having another extra node, that is E. So in between this there is a capacitance is connected. Here one variable resistor R, E to D, and in D to C or branch 4 we are having one resistor R4. When the bridge is balanced means what? No current will flow through the detector, and potential of point B to potential of point E means the detector is connected in between B to E. So potential of B to E must be in the same potential, means both B and E point potential are same. So if it is same, now we have to find out the balance conditions here. So at balance condition, I1 must be is equal to I3. I1 must be is equal to I3, and I2 is divided into two paths. One is IC, second one is I4. So I2 must be equal to IC plus I4. IC plus I4. Then I1 into R3 is equal to IC into 1 by j omega c. Means here you can see this current I3, I can tell it is I1 because I1 is equal to I3 in balance condition. Potential of B to C is equal to potential of E to C. So potential of B to C means it is I1 into R3. Potential of E to C means it is IC into its capacitive reactance, means IC into 1 by j omega c. So from this we can find out the value of IC is equal to j omega c R3 into I1. This is suppose equation number 1. Then the other balanced conditions or equations are here. I can write down this voltage drop means I1 whole into R1 plus this R1 plus j omega L1 must be is equal to potential of A to D plus potential of D to E, because now B and E are in the same potential. So at balance condition, from A to B must be is equal to ADE. So that's why ADE voltage is, first one is I2 into R2 and the second one is IC into R. So this is the second balance condition or equation, that is equation number 2. Then IC into R means this potential drop plus IC into j omega 1 by j omega c, because now if there is no current is flowing through the detector, this IC current will flow through this small r and through this c, means both are in series we can tell. So IC into R plus 1 by j omega c must be is equal to I4 into R4. This is I4 into R4, means potential of D to C must be is equal to potential of DEC. This branch and this branch is in parallel, so that's why both voltage are same. Then I can write down I4 is equal to I2 minus IC here. So this is our equation number 3. We got all these equations. Now substituting the value of IC from equation 1 in equation 2 and 3. IC, the value of IC j omega c R3 into I1. So I am putting this value of IC in equation 2 and 3. So when I am putting it in equation 2, I can get this is the result. And this is equation number 4. Here I2 R2 is equal to this quantity. And when I am putting the value of IC in equation number 3, then I will get this value. I2 into R4 is equal to this value. It is equation number 5. Then if I will equate this 4 and 5, means here we are having I2, here also we are having I2. So if I will equate this equation 4 and 5, then I will get this value. I2 is now cancelled, so I will get this value. And now from this equation, if I will equate, and here also you can see I1 and I1, I can cancel this. And from this equation, if I will equate the real parts, it is here, it is R1 plus R1 by R2 is equal to R3 by R4. And finally, I will get the value of R1 is this much, R2 R3 by R4 minus small r1. This is the value of unknown resistance R1. And similarly, equating the imaginary parts from this equation, I can find out the value of L1. So this is the procedure. I have to find out the value of L1 here, and finally the value of L1 is CR3 divided by R4 whole into small r into R2 plus R4 plus R2 R4. This is the value of unknown inductance L1. So now we found out the values of L1 and R1. These are the unknown parameters of this circuit. Now the important thing is we have to draw the phasor diagram of this bridge. So for drawing the phasor diagram, first of all, we have to write down all the voltage and current equations. So the value of E1 is here. This is a RL branch. So it should be I1 R1 plus small r1 plus I1 j omega L1. Then value of E2. It must be I2 into R2. I2 into R2, because E2 value is A to D, that is the value of E2. Then the value of E3. E3 is equal to I1 into I1 into R3 or I3 into R3. I can write down I3 into R3, but at balance condition I3 is equal to I1, that's why it is simply I1 into R3. Again, this value B and E potential are same, so that's why potential of E to C, it is also equal to E3. So I can write down another value of E3, that is IC into 1 by j omega C. This is the value of E3. Then coming to E4, E4 is equal to IR into R4. This voltage potential of C to D, IR into R4. And then this point D to E and E to C, these two are also in series, means it is also connected across E3. So I can write down the value of E4 is equal to IC into small r plus IC into 1 by j omega C, and IC into 1 by j omega C is equal to E3. So finally I can write down the value of E4 is equal to IC into R plus E3. This is the value. Then the value of I2 is equal to IC plus I4, phasor sum. And here the important point is E1 is not equal to E2 and E3 is not equal to E4. So this is the data we have to draw the phasor diagram. So let's start the diagram. Now I am taking I1 as the reference. Then I1 into R1 plus R1. It is a resistive voltage drop. So it is in series or in phase with I1. So I can write down here. This is I1 into R1 plus R1. Then I1 j omega L1. It is an inductive voltage drop. So it should be leading its respective current by an angle 90 degree. So here it may be I1 j omega L1, and the phasor sum of I1 R1 plus R1 and I1 j omega L1, it is the value of E1. So we got the first value, that is E1. Then the value of E3 is equal to I1 into R3. So I1 and E3 both are in the same phase. So I can draw E3 here. If it is I1, E3 must be in phase with I1. Again, E3 is equal to IC into 1 by j omega c. So that means this IC must be leading E3 by an angle 90 degree. So this is suppose our IC. This is IC because E3 and IC. This is a capacitive branch here. So in capacitive branch, the current must be leading the respective voltage by an angle 90 degree. Then if IC is there, IC is here, so IC into R drop, it is a resistive voltage drop, so it should be in phase with IC into R. Then IC into R plus E3 is equal to E4. So obviously this quantity IC into R, it must be the phasor sum. This is the phasor sum. So IC into R plus E3. This is the value of E4. So we got E1, E4 and E3. Then E2 is left. So the value of E2, it is I2 into R2. So we need to find out I2 first. So here this is IC. We know that I2 is equal to IC plus I4. Then E4 is equal to I4 into R4. So obviously I4 should be in phase with E4. So if it is E4, so it should be in phase with E4. So it is here, it is I4, and the phasor sum of IC and I4 will give us I2. So if it is IC and it is I4, now we can draw the phasor sum of these two quantities. This is I2, this one, and I2 is equal to E2 into R2. So E2 and I2 both are in the same phase. So now here it is E2 in the same phase with I2. So now we got all the four voltages. Now we can draw the resultant voltage. So resultant of E1 and E3. So draw parallel line like this with E1. Draw parallel line like this with E3. Here also we can draw, because E2 plus E4 also is E. So now we can draw parallel line from E4 and from E2 also. Now this is the total voltage E, this one, and this is all about the phasor diagram of Anderson's bridge. In the next video I will tell you about shearing bridge. Thank you. We have another bridges also which will measure unknown capacitance. So to know about which bridge we are using for measurement of unknown capacitance, you can watch my next video. If it is beneficial for you, give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe this channel, and I am eagerly waiting for your valuable feedback in the comment box.